$1 billion is too much money.
Now, I'm a small YouTuber, and I make a very modest living doing what I do. And if I'm very honest with myself, I'm happy with that. Truth be told, I like all my junk. This trailer is actually like super broken and unserviceable, yet I've kept it. But that does not mean that I am immune to the daydream. Daydreams of stuffs and things like motorbikes, new bicycles, cars. Now, for someone who's interested in financial news and follows it semi-regularly, I feel like the amount of times that the net worth or losses and gains of any of those like celebrity billionaire names comes up, I would almost say that I'm like desensitized to the absolute magnitude that is 1 billion. And it's like almost not impressive anymore. And in my head, as I daydream and very loosely and poorly do the math on the bills that I rack up for the things that I daydream about, I just automatically assume that they add up somewhere near that $1 billion number, because that's the number I hear all the time. That's the new rich. So, because I am a huge nerd and a much better visual learner than just trying to like, in my brain come up with numbers, I came up with this graph using Mac's version of Excel. Numbers, if you will. So here we have a bar that goes to 1 billion on this graph. It's 1 billion right here. Dollars, you see this total? This is the total line for all of the things that I'm going to add down the y-axis here of my daydream purchases. And then they all tally up in the total here to compare against how much $1 billion actually is. That way, I can truly visualize the impact that my daydreams have on my imaginary $1 billion. So, of course, being a responsible daydreamer, gotta take care of the mortgage first. Angela and I still have $230,000-ish left as principal to pay off on our house. I'm gonna pay that off. And my $230,000 purchase from the bank of the house that I currently live in has made zero splash in the total sum against my imaginary $1 billion. Okay, that's fine. More money to play with later. Obviously, being continually responsible, I should pay off the education that I didn't finish. Still sitting at $13,500 left over to pay off. Doesn't even make a drop in the bucket. I got like $1,500 in credit card debt for running this channel that we should probably deal with. So far, I have spent $245,000. It's not even showing up on the graph. It looks like the graph looks broken. Now, it's time to play the daydream game. So for the last like 2 years or so, I have been wanting a motorbike to be able to ride around with a bike on the back. The idea is a Triumph Street Twin. Those brand new here are $10,200-ish. And then a sissy bar and a rack to go with it, along with tax and everything. We're looking at like $15,000. That's the bike that I realistically daydream about. Now, next, the thing that I like imagine being on the back of my motorbike is actually my 4130, my Chromo full suspension mountain bike. And still, for all the things that I regularly daydream about every day, not registering on the Richter scale of 1 billion imaginary dollars whatsoever. Now, the next very public daydream that I have is, of course, the Spindatt warehouse. And I have a feeling this might be the first thing that really makes an impact on the $1 billion budget, hopefully. So I found here an industrial warehouse that's 17,000 square feet. That is just about $25,000 a month. And that lease for 1 year, $300,000. And then I looked up what the cost to build our Halifax Commons skate park actually was, which was only about $520,000-ish, and that there's going to be more things to like bring in. Like, I think it would be cool to have like a retail space, some spots to hang out. There's going to be like some other things that need to be paid for, and my math very quickly kind of just brings it up to 1.2 million without a whole lot of reasoning. That is my projected cost of my dream 17,000 square foot warehouse. There we go. A little blip in the budget, though I'm sure a day's interest would pay for the warehouse like that. So I think honestly, at this point, that's like all my very realistic daydreams that I'm like, oh, that's where I want to be someday. Obviously, as I've mentioned, I want an electric vehicle. The one that I actually want is the Rivian R1T. To get one here would be about $100,000 after tax. So we'll throw that in. I really, truly would love to own a good Corrado again. You know, they're anywhere from like 10 grand for a bad one now to let's say 25,000 for like a really nice SLC example. So we'll go there. I've mentioned in the past that I'd like to own an NSX. I've found them for like $100,000 on Auto Trader. I'm sure you can get them for less. I'm sure you can get them for more. Let's just say 100,000. We're just going crazy now at this point. How much is a dirt bike? 10 grand. Okay. You know what? We're buying two. We'll get two of plus trailer. I do actually have a lot of interest in starting track days with motorcycles. In my life, those track days would be on like Ninja 250s. I still think that that's like a better way to go for starting out, even when you have an imaginary $1 billion. So actually someone offered to sell me one for 4 grand with tire warmers and everything. You know, I think that's just like the right way to go. So $4,000. I mean, I guess I could spend more, but I like to daydream reasonably. I would have a hankering for building a house along with, you know, like an outdoor skate park near it. And I think the coolest thing ever is like concrete bowls in basements with lots of ceiling height, along with like a huge garage for all of the stuff like that I would probably continue to buy. I would expect around like 2 million for my dream house. Oh, I forgot I wanted like a 78 Trans Am. This person is selling theirs for 46,000. Let's call it 50 grand. I also want a late 60s, like a 69 Camaro RS. Those are more money. Sit around $100,000. I'm kind of like running out of things that I like feasibly would be interested actually in owning, like that my mind goes to regularly and that I would like truly want. Like right now, to have everything that I like feasibly think of, daydream of, like long and wish that I could own right now would cost $3,954,000. That's like less than what a lot of pretty successful YouTubers make in like sometimes a month. I can't even daydream away 1% of $1 billion. $1 billion is too much money.